Good afternoon, everyone. Beautiful sunny day, 33 degrees, 1640 hours. Monday. I have no idea what the date is. Doesn't matter. I update. Okay. I went to an optometrist, professional, and went through all the lens BS, and so the best they could do was about 20/70 in my right eye, give or take a foot, right? So what? If someone sees at 70 feet, I have to be 20 feet away. So, but I knew that going in after the surgery, and that's livable. They could have, because I'm right eye dominant. I have been my entire life. But now my left eye is the boss now. It's taken over. But because I enjoy sending lead downrange from a long distance, I really, really wanted to maintain right eye dominance. But that's impossible now. So, if they kept cranking up more on the right, it made me do this. When I'm looking straight ahead, it made shit go goofy, right? So the best they could do was about 20/70. And my surgeon had said, she didn't say hammered, but the gist of it was, I really hammered my retina, and to almost complete blindness in that eye. There was very little attached when I finally saw her. So it's weird, no pain or nothing like that, but no, and I could see, right? But once they go in and attach what they can and do all that shit, then your vision just goes to shit. And she said the best we could hope for at optimal was 20/40, 20/60, but she said probably 20/80. Because even before the surgery, she says I may be able to retain 20% of your vision. Now, the nice thing about what was retained is it's the whole peripheral, the complete eye. There's no dark spots, blank spots, wedges, nothing. It's complete. So, fortunate there. Really fortunate. But, like I said, I can live with 20/70 for a while, and basically my my left eye is dominant. Now I can retrain myself, because I've done offhand. There's some key words I don't want to say, but if you know anything about long arms or short arms, handguns, I don't want to talk about any kind of the S word with ing at the end because of recent events in the United States with Charlie Kirk. So YouTube is kind of watching. And I hit the monetization button. I went ahead, go for it. Okay. But there's still something goofy going on, because the only thing that's monetized is the shorts. So there's something in the studio that I have to set up to get that corrected, because there's a lot of good stuff coming out, I think. Trip wise, well, most of my trip stuff's out, so they don't go retro, right? So but I'll get it figured out, get it corrected, and I'll be fine, because it's not like I'm Mr. Beast or something. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, man? You get me? You feel me? Anyhow, so did the eyeglasses thing, and I'll come back. Like in the States, you could go into a darn near any shop and walk out the same day with a new pair of shades, whatever, eyewear. But things are a little different here. There's some that are same day. It says right on their website, same day. You get here in the morning, and you'll be out the door by lunch with a new pair of glasses. They're set up, but with that comes money, right? And if now, when I go back to America, I basically get 2 free pair from the VA every year. Okay? Titanium, blah, 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 blah. So, I don't need to spend a serious chunk of change to get eyewear here. Now, eye doctor's appointments at the VA are months out. And if by chance I'm able to get fit in when I'm there next month, it usually takes them about 4 to 6 weeks to mail them out. So I wouldn't get them anyway. So I'm not gonna wait. I want, boom, as corrected as I can get now. So that'll just be in a few days. And that's fine. I gotta wait a week or whatever for my crown to come in. Got a lot of things happening at once, right? Juggling, like Ringling Brothers, right? I'm the clown juggling the frickin' bowling pins. Anyway, and as typical, I haven't eaten anything today. I've had coffee and water. Just, I wasn't hungry in the morning, and got tied up at the optician, and then I went to Big Wing, Honda Big Wing, Chiang. And I'll tell you what, the floor plan, the way the bikes were set up, was literally identical to Chiang Mai. Unbelievable. The 500s were all lined up the same way. The Transhelp was in the same position. The X80Vs were in the same positions. The NSXs were in the same. I mean, just the Rebels and all the other whatevers bikes that I'm not interested in. So they're off my radar. because that's not what I want. So why look? I mean, I can look for curiosity's sake, which I did. It's like, man, that'd be nice to ride. That'd be nice to cruise on. That'd be, but that's not in my future where some of these other bikes are. I think about things, okay? Things taste better when you wait, right? I think. The taste is sweeter. To me, anyway. I'm not like, oh, gotta open a Christmas present Christmas Eve. Like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I can wait. I've always been that way. If I think about a big purchase, I don't just like, oh yeah, I want that, I'm gonna get it. No, I sit back and I think about it. Can I really justify this purchase? Because it's gonna be the same price in a month, in 2 months. It's gonna be the same. Maybe they'll even have a special. But basically it's gonna be the same price. So there's no rush. There's no, oh, I'll pay cash. It doesn't matter here. Honda, across the nation, the base prices of the bikes are the same. And whatever shop you go in, now the shop can incentivize certain things. I mentioned this before, but so there's no push, there's no rush. I don't need a new bike today or next month. So if I sit back and wait, I might think, you know what? I don't need a new bike at all. You see? That's the way my mind works. Now, when you have to have something done, like maintenance on your vehicle or something like that, it's post-haste, right? You got to get on it. Road's narrowing down here, U-turn, big truck coming out with a jib on it, for like whatever, sheetrock or whatever they would be hauling. Someone burning their trash right next to the freaking, yeah. Anyway, construction zone, so it's going to be bumpy. 12 and a half minutes. So we'll try to keep this, where it's at. I've already started compiling a dental video. Every time something changes, I add to it in my Power Director. And the same thing with my eyewear. But this one is kind of a generic, talking about my glasses, talking about motorcycles, talking about construction, road construction. So, I'll just, I'll put this up out of sequence, right? So, one thing I want to say though, when you get this will be totally after the fact, but a number of subscribers, I'm not seeing their messages, okay? Or I've actually responded to them because I'm visual, right? I'm a visual person. If I read something, show me a picture, and then it sticks better in my noodle, okay? But I specifically remember replying to a comment, and the subscriber, great subscriber by the way, always there, always present, which I'm not saying, oh, I'm going to think differently of you if you respond to me and or you make comments and whatever, all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that, okay? I got to adjust my mirror because the damn bounces. But, and he's like nearly first all the time. And I appreciate that, you know. I mean, that's cool. That's cool. And at this stage, I've said this before, but I'm going to repeat it. At this stage, I can interact with everyone, with every comment that comes in. I can address it. I don't just hit that little heart symbol that says that I've seen it, right? Like many of my friends have to do, because their channels are so big. You literally cannot respond to everybody. But at this stage, I can build rapport with people in my comment section. And I like that. That's why I moderate. I enjoy the conversation. I may come for the channel, but I stay for the chat. You've probably heard me say that 100 times on various channels and whatever. But that's how I am. You know, I'll see the name and I'll remember, oh, how's your brother's broken leg? Did it heal up okay? You know, that kind of thing. How's your mother? Because they may have mentioned that their mother had a stroke or something. I give a shit, okay? It's called empathy, right? Well, I've been in that situation before, but I can walk in someone else's moccasins, okay? You know, walk a mile in somebody's shoes and then opine. You know what I mean? Because every one of you, including me, is coming from a different space. You don't know what's happening on the other end, right? This guy, somebody could give a shit comment, but it may be coming from a different place, okay? They may have had a family member just die, or they may have just lost their job, or they may have found out they have cancer. So many times I'll read a comment, and there's many times I'm like, what are we saying here? You know what I mean? Like what? So I try to put it in context. And it's very difficult texting people. So one person reads it this way and the other person reads it this way. It all depends on their frame of mind and all that shit. So stuff can get totally askew, totally misinterpreted in chat. So you must be careful, I think. I try to be. But like I said, at this stage, I can respond to literally everyone, because my channel is at that stage. If it grows, that will eventually taper off.